Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Skilled Trades and Technical Training Breakout Room for Discover Seattle Colleges. We have a wide variety of awesome presenters tonight, and here they all are listed here. We're going to do some really brief introductions. I can start with myself and then we'll move on to Karen. I'm Rachel Andre. I'm the Associate Director of Workforce Education for Seattle Colleges. Thanks so much for coming. I'm going to be walking you through the slides tonight. Karen, are you in here yet?
I'm
Okay.
here. Yes. I don't know if Laura's here yet. Oh, there she is. Okay, great.
Thanks, Karen. So you'll be talking about pre-apprenticeship. Laura, do you want to introduce yourself?
Welcome. My name is Laura Kingston. I'm the Executive Dean of South Seattle College's Georgetown campus, the largest hub of apprenticeship programs in Washington State, where we have our pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship programs.
Thomas, how about you?
Hi, I'm Thomas Crotty. I'm faculty at the Seattle Maritime Academy. If you're interested in working on ships, that's what we do.
Katie, you're up.
Hi, everybody. My name's Katie Chaplin. I'm the lead carpentry instructor and CAD instructor at the Wood Technology Center, which is part of Seattle Central College. We have the oldest carpentry program in the state.
Awesome. Sarah.
I'm Sarah Scamser. I teach landscape horticulture. It's everything about plants.
Thanks, Sarah. Jimmy.
Hello, this is Jimmy. I'm a coordinator and instructor with the Watch Technology Institute at North Seattle College. We have a rich 80-year history of graduating watchmakers that serve the industry, and look forward to chatting with you about our program.
Thanks, Jimmy. Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie Letterson. I work in the electronics department at North, and I'm going to tell you, we have 5-degree pathways, and I'm going to tell you about a few of those.
Stephanie.
Hi, I'm the afternoon instructor at the South Seattle College's main campus welding metal fabrication program.
Thanks, Stephanie. Chris.
Yeah, hi. My name is Chris Coley. I am one of the instructors in the relatively new fire science program at North Seattle College. We are in our 3rd year of this program.
Thanks, Chris. And putting you on the spot, Taryn, I see you in here. Do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Sure. Thanks, everyone. My name's Taryn. I teach automotive technology. I specialize in advanced electrical and engine performance and diagnostics. I don't have a presentation, but if anyone has questions, happy to answer them, or come see us next week at the in-person open house.
Thanks, Taryn. All righty. So our first presentation tonight. Oh, before I get into that, one note, we're going to have about 4 minutes per presenter, so we're going to go pretty fast. So we really encourage you to use the chat if you have questions so we can get back to those, and we'll do a Q&A at the end. All right, so programs tonight that we're going to be talking about, you just heard from our presenters, but here's our list. And that's not all. We have a lot of programs in skilled trades, and some of them aren't here tonight to talk about it. But feel free to keep exploring our websites and check out the open houses next week to hear from some more folks. And we'll jump right into apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeships. Laura and Karen, go ahead.
Everyone, my name is Laura Kingston. I'm the Executive Dean of our Georgetown campus, which is the hub for our apprenticeship programs at South Seattle College and our pre-apprenticeship programs. The thing to keep in mind about apprenticeship is you earn while you learn. While you're in the programs and apprenticeship, you're taking classes and you're also working in jobs where you're getting paid. And so it's a great opportunity to learn and get paid while you're learning. Karen's going to talk first about pre-apprenticeship, which is often a step towards our apprenticeship programs.
Yes, I am. Could we go to the pre-apprenticeship slide? Thanks. Okay, so pre-apprenticeships are pathways that can help prepare you to enter apprenticeship programs. Because apprenticeship programs are a job, you generally need to apply and be accepted. Pre-apprenticeship provides the skills and training that you would need to successfully become employed as an apprentice in many fields, construction, manufacturing, aerospace. I think I saw somebody in this room that was interested in aerospace. We have a really great aerospace and machinist and manufacturing pre-apprenticeship program, and many other skilled trades. Part of it's generally the programs run for 10 to 12 weeks. It's full time, and we provide career navigation. So you go through the program and then you're ready to enter an apprenticeship or other skilled trades employment immediately following it. So it's a short-term kind of program. Also, tuition, there's a lot of funding for tuition so that you don't have to pay. Oftentimes, a lot of the time, we have workforce funding through grants and other sources that would cover your tuition while you're in a pre-apprenticeship program. So it's a really great opportunity. We provide mentoring, job readiness training, and you get to try different things and see like what you really enjoy doing before you commit to a full-on apprenticeship program. So that's the highlights of pre-apprenticeship. Oh, so careers, pre-apprenticeship can lead to careers in carpentry, electrical work, plumbing, heavy equipment. There are a lot of jobs right now in manufacturing and aerospace, machining, tool and die, all types of heavy equipment trades. And so those are the types of positions you might be able to attain after going through a pre-apprenticeship program. And you can pretty much great thing about jobs in the skilled trades is that you can take your trade and go and work anywhere you want because people are building things all over. And once you're a skilled craftsperson, you can take that skill and move and work anywhere. So that's a really great benefit to having a skilled trade.
Thanks, Karen. So one of the things that Karen mentioned about our pre-apprenticeship programs is it sets you up to apply for apprenticeship programs. So as I mentioned, the apprenticeship programs, you earn while you learn. Our programs run from 2 to 5 years. They are a combination of learning in the classroom, and then you have lab space either in location at our Georgetown campus or another training facility where you get to try the trade that you're learning. And then you're also working at the same time where you're being mentored by other folks in the trade. So you get to practice and learn and get paid while you're learning. In Washington State, there's a waiver for tuition. Tuition is 50% off when you're in an apprenticeship program. You also, the on-the-job training that you do and the classes that you learn, a lot of those can be applied toward the MOT degree, our multi-occupational trades degree. You take a few other classes to round out, and you'll end up, when you finish your apprenticeship program, with a 2-year degree that you can use towards transferring to a Bachelor's of Applied Science program, if that's something that you're interested in. I'm trying to remember what's on the next slide, Rachel. We probably covered everything. Yep, everything I just said there is also in writing. Our faculty come from the trade that you're learning in. So they're either currently still working in the trade or they're retired and really interested in making sure that they pass on their knowledge and do what they can to keep things going well and give the student apprentices the information that they need. The majority of our apprenticeship programs are in the building trades. So cement masons, masonry, we have glaziers, which window makers, we have sprinkler fitters. We also have machinists and aerospace machining apprenticeships. We have a meat cutter program. And then up through North Seattle College, we have a farm tech apprenticeship program. So we're getting into healthcare as well. So lots of options for career exploration. we have like we have multiple partners, over 20 partners, and within those, there's 50 occupational pathways. And you start between like 29 and it depends on, but when you journey out, the range is between $40 and $90 an hour. So at the end of 4 years, you're earning in some cases up to $90 an hour. I saw a question in the chat. The majority of our apprenticeship programs do require a driver's license. You'll be driving to jobs, but it depends on the apprenticeship program. Every apprenticeship program has slightly different qualifications. So it's good to check on the website that I linked. You'll see a list of all our apprenticeship programs and then their individual links so you can get more details about what they require, what the pathways are, and what the opportunities are.
Thank you, Karen and Laura. Now we're up with Julie.
Thanks, Rachel. Yeah, so I work in the electronics department at North, and I'm going to share information about 3 associate degree programs as well as a couple of certificate programs. And when I'm referencing certificates, students do have the opportunity to continue on, take additional classes, deepen their knowledge, and complete an associate degree if they would like to. Why don't we go to the next slide? So within the electronics department, I mentioned earlier, we've got 5 associate degree pathways, and they're distributed across 3 different areas of study. So what I'm going to focus on today are all organized under the skilled trades and technical training area of study. We have a industrial power and control associate degree, applied associate degree. We've got a mechatronics degree, some avionics certificates. You can build on those to complete an electronics technology degree. And then also I wanted to reference, there's a degree that's actually housed in the IT department. It's called IT Controlled Electronics. And I reference it because about half of the credits actually are electronics department courses. And all of these programs are designed for students to complete a broad range of electronics classes, and they're going to take some courses that are really specific to their area of study or to the credential that they're completing. They are designed for students to enter the workplace or to advance or skill up. Maybe they're already doing related work. And they're doing more advanced training. They're not designed as transfer programs to move on to bachelor's programs, but the mechatronics degree, students are going to complete a large number of electronics classes, but they're also going to complete courses at Shoreline Community College, which is about 5 miles north of the North Seattle College campus. They're going to be completing, it's a total of 29 credits that they need to complete at Shoreline that are housed in the manufacturing department there. Mechatronics is kind of that integrated skill set that involves like mechanics, electronics, computer control systems. Our industrial power and control associate degree, students are going to take a more extensive number of electronics classes, and they're going to complete our industrial power sequence. So things like energy, energy conversion. They're going to be taking motor drives and controls, programmable logic controllers, but some specialized classes for that degree. The IT Controlled Electronics program, they're going to take several electronics classes and also some IT classes. Our avionics certificates, we have our shortest term credential is Aviation Electronics 1 Wire Assembly Certificate. It's 6 courses, 30 credits. We also have a more extensive aviation electronics certificate. It takes, it's about 63 credits, would take a full year generally to complete that. And so yes, they are applied associate degrees. They're hands-on. You're working in our electronics labs. We have 5 labs on campus at North, all housed in the same building. Degrees, you can generally complete those within 8 quarters. Certificates, it's going to depend on which quarter you start. Students can begin any quarter. Could take 3 quarters. It could take 5 quarters. Again, it'll depend on which certificate you're completing. We're very much in person, hands-on in the labs. Students need to begin any of these programs. We want to see that students have placed into what's called Math 84, which is algebra, excuse me, which is Algebra 1. That's an important piece. Class size remains pretty small. And let's go on to the next slide. So highlight, yeah, in all of these degrees, including some other degrees that aren't referenced here, students are going to be getting this strong foundation in electronics technology. You're going to take courses in a wide range of circuits, AC, DC, solid state. You're going to take some fiber optics, some robotics, hydraulics, really kind of depending on which degree you're completing. You may have some applied physics, programmable logic controllers, metrology, quite a wide range of classes. I mentioned their applied programs. So your classes are going to meet twice a week or once a week. You're going to have lecture time, and then you're going to move across the hall or to a different level of the building and move into one of our labs and start applying it. And let's go to, and our faculty come from industry, so they've got certainly practical experience and perspective, and a really wonderful resource to help you kind of refine your area of interest and understanding where you want to land, like in the workplace, and great connections within industry. And next slide. And so in terms of careers, our graduates move into technician roles. Technician being a key word you'll typically see in the job title. It could be avionics technician, avionics meaning aviation electronics combined, right? So it's avionics technician, electronics technician, control systems technician, industrial machinery technician, mechatronics technician, technician being kind of the operative word. And we see our students then advancing through different technician levels. And then seeing opportunity for them to move into, maybe they move into management, sales and marketing, sometimes opportunity to move into an engineering roles. The mechatronics degree is the one degree mentioned here today that includes an internship. If students, they have the option to complete an internship, they could take classes in lieu of the internship. The most popular internship our students complete with mechatronics is with Boeing, but other employers as well. And then just to reference some of the employers where our students land, there are those really familiar names like Boeing, like Blue Origin, like Collins, also probably well recognized. But I like to highlight some of the smaller organizations that at least in terms of name recognition, like Directed Machines. They make solar electric land maintenance robots. Thermetrics is another really interesting one. They do thermal measurement technology. Helion is listed there. They're working on fusion power for clean energy. So there's a lot of really interesting places that students land in industry, and I'm happy to meet with anyone further to discuss all of our program options.
Thank you, Julie. Katie, you're up.
Hi, everybody. So I teach carpentry at the Wood Technology Center. We also, which is a 5-quarter AAS degree program. We also offer a 5-quarter boat building and repair program as well for the degree programs. We're the oldest carpentry program in the state. We have a focus on residential carpentry. We have a very strong focus on sustainable building and energy efficient construction. Our program built one of the first 2 passive houses in the Pacific Northwest. And right before the pandemic, we finished our first net zero energy passive house. We also focus a lot on traditional building techniques, because in Seattle, there's a lot of old housing stock. So we have to understand how to build both old and new styles, and oftentimes marry them together. We maybe switch to the next slide. So the AAS degree takes 5 quarters. We run fall, winter, and spring quarters. We're off in the summer, so it takes most students a 1.5 years or 1 3/4 total elapsed time to finish their degree. There are a couple of related instruction classes that are also required, but the bulk of the program is hands-on in the shop building. We spend a little time in lecture in the morning, and then we're building in the shop, and there are hands-on demos. There's opportunities to build things and take them apart and rebuild them. Everybody starts in Intro to Professional Woodworking, which is a shop-based class. And then you join us in the carpentry shop, and we just cycle through 4 different curriculum. We go through all phases of residential construction and remodel. We look at concrete and foundations and building site layout. We'll teach you how to frame floors and walls and complex roofs and intersecting roofs. We look at interior and exterior finishes, drywall, trim, doors, windows, siding systems, range beam systems. And then we focus on a remodel, which kind of puts all of it together. So we have about 28 students in class. We're usually between 28 and 32 students. There are 2 instructors. We've got a build yard outside. We've got a pretty good sized shop inside. We've got a pretty nice machine room. And during your course of study with us, you basically go through all phases of house construction and remodel. For every 5 people retiring in the next 5 years in our industry, there's only 1 skilled person training to go into the trades. So this is a fantastic time to be training in carpentry. There's huge demand for our students. Most of our students within 6 or 9 months are in leadership positions when they go to work in industry. So let's see. So, yep. I've been a contractor for 30 years. My colleague I'm teaching with has been a contractor for over 10 years. We learn by doing, and it's probably the only time in your career where you have enough time, however much time you need, to learn how to put things together right. Is there another slide? Yeah, so the sky's the limit in terms of what people do with a carpentry degree. It's all building skills. So some folks enter the trades as a field carpenter, some go in as a lead contractor. There's opportunity to work in cabinet shops. There's opportunities for project management. A few of our students join the union, but most union construction, at least carpentry, is commercial. And so a lot of our students sort of self-select to not go into the union, only because residential construction in this area is largely non-union, but we certainly support students who are interested in pursuing a union career as well. And we have an articulation agreement with the union. So students who graduate from our program can test into journey level if they pass all the tests with the Carpenters Union. So there's a union pathway for folks who are interested in pursuing that as well.
Thank you, Katie. We got a question in the chat that we'll get to at the end. Thanks, June, for your question.
Yep.
All right, Chris, you're up with fire science.
All right, good evening again. Again, my name is Chris Coley. I am part-time faculty at with North Seattle College in the fire science program. My full-time job is I'm a firefighter, driver, engineer with the Seattle Fire Department. So as I mentioned in the introduction, this is a relatively new program. We've been around now that we're going into our 3rd year. It was created as a partnership between the Seattle Fire Department, North Seattle College, and actually several other fire departments in the area. So there's been a tremendous amount of buy-in amongst the various fire chiefs within the department. So or within the area, excuse me. Next slide, please. So it is a strictly online program. The one thing I will emphasize, with this program is, unlike some of the other, programs in the area, this is a fire science program. It is not a hands-on program. There is a small hands-on component, which I'll get to in subsequent slides, but this is not a drill school, for example, kind of program. This is strictly a classroom, learning kind of some of the fundamentals, the theory, that sort of thing. It is a 2-year program with the Associates of Applied Science coming out of it. It is a full-time 9-quarter program. You can start at any time. Our recommendation is to start in the fall, as that is when the first, the Fire 101, 102 program, which lay a good foundation for the rest of it. But again, you can start any quarter. The class size is generally 20 to 30, but we can accommodate more. We can actually break out into, a couple different sessions, and that sort of thing. So, the numbers are not a cap by any means. Next slide, please. So we cover, we really have 2 different types of students that enter this program. There's there are those students that are currently in service, that are currently in, full-time firefighters around the area that are taking this program, for promotional opportunities, advancement opportunities. And then we have the bulk of our students are pre-service, so do not currently have jobs in the fire service. And that's been a growing number. In fact, every student that we currently have enrolled in the program is pre-service. So again, as I mentioned, this program is not designed to give you, a firefighter 1, firefighter 2 certification. But what it really is designed to do is, lay a good foundation for you that will translate, into getting a job in the fire service. And in fact, through the process of our instruction, we do actually cover a lot about, about the hiring process, about the interview process, make you more competitive to get a job. So, we do set you up, pretty well for a job in the fire service. But again, if you're looking at this as an opportunity to get, your actual firefighter certifications, then this program will not do that for you. So we do cover things you see down there at the bottom, like building construction, fire behavior, fire prevention, legal issues. There's a relatively large gamut of things that we cover within this 2-year program. Next slide, please. As I mentioned early on, the one hands-on component is the EMT. You do have to successfully pass and get your EMT certification in order to graduate from the program. The nice thing about this is for most jobs, or just about every job I can think of, every department within the fire service, there is a minimum requirement to have an EMT license. So most of them require that before you can even attend a drill school, or even apply in some cases. So the nice thing about this program is you have to get that as a part of the program. So it does set you up nicely for for those follow-on hiring opportunities. We do have an internship component to this program, which will give you some of that practical experience, within the fire service, either working for a specific department, or there's many facets to it. So and again, we do a really nice job of, although not giving you those certifications, for setting you up for for that hiring process, which can be pretty daunting in some cases. I know, speaking for Seattle, we generally have about 6,000 people apply for less than 100 ultimately spots. So one of the nice things about this program is everybody who teaches in it is in the fire service in some capacity or another. So we can pass on our experiences and again, kind of set you up nicely for for the hiring process, make it a little bit less intimidating for you. So, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Scamser. I teach landscape horticulture. Like I like to say is that it's all about plants. People aren't always familiar with the term, and we really focus on all aspects of plants. Next slide, please. Okay, so you can get a 1-year certificate, which is a foundation in horticulture, or a 2-year degree. And the second year you do more application of the skills and information that you learned in year 1. It is a lot of hands-on throughout the program, so it's not always just classroom work. It is to get the certificate, it's 4 full-time quarters of 12 credits each. And if you already have your English, math, and psych, it's only 3 quarters. And then to do the second year, that builds on the first year. So, and the second year is 3 quarters. In person, some online coursework. Seattle being what it is, we have evolved into a program that is in the classroom and in the lab or out in the gardens when to do the hands-on work, and then support that with online coursework. So you can start really any quarter except, well, fall, winter, spring. And you could take the preparatory if you haven't taken the other general ed classes, that psych and English and math, then you could do that in the summertime. Class size over time, it's gone everywhere between 15 and 35. So it ebbs and flows over time. We can certainly accommodate over 25 quite easily, most of the classes. You can meet with the advisor for our program, Matt Donnelly, or you could talk to me. Always done that. And to enroll full time, there's the school suggests a placement test to make sure that you're ready for certain aspects of the program. We are at South Seattle College, which is ironically in West Seattle, and we have a arboretum. It's about 5-acre arboretum, and the Chinese garden has moved in next to us. And so you can come and see 2 gardens at the same time. The Arboretum is really primarily there for a lab for our classes. So we do landscape maintenance, landscape design, installation, renovation, all kinds of projects, diagnostics, plant problem diagnostics out in the Arboretum. We also have, oh, this is a, thank you, Rachel. This is a project, year before last, this class and the instructor installed that. There's 4 instructors and 3 are currently still working in the industry, all running their own businesses, which is a very common pathway for a lot of our students. This is our greenhouse. So one of the other areas is we have a greenhouse where we propagate and grow on and produce plants that are sold in our retail nursery. And also many of those plants are planted out into the arboretum. Sometimes Grounds uses them on campus. And the purpose of the greenhouse is so students can gain that experience in working with plants. Although we're a landscape horticulture program, it's about plants and various aspects. It's a really diverse field, horticulture. And so some people work in greenhouses. Some people work alongside landscape architects because they have the plant knowledge the landscape architects don't have. Some people are designers, installation, maintenance, management. And like I said, the large part of our students have had their own small business. It's a industry that does well as a small business, very successful. I encourage you to visit the campus, if nothing more than to walk around the Arboretum. Oh, here's some of our plans. Actually, we do have an internship in the first year, and so students can gain some experience. There's training in arboriculture and pruning. There's a number of classes where you can take those skills and go out and work. The other thing is I really consider us, our graduates also are now moving into, I think it's the same thing that's going on with carpentry and some of the other trades, is that a lot of people are retiring, and so there are a lot of jobs available, and some of jobs like schools and government and parks departments are hiring as they have not for many years. So there's a lot of jobs available. It's a really nice cohort of students. Plant people are really nice people. There seems to be a real community in our program. And what's the other thing? Oh, I think we're the protectors of the environment. As we become more densely populated, it's with just a 5-foot margin on either side of a building. in Seattle, it's really important to maintain and to promote green space. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, contact me if you have any questions. Oh, one thing, sorry, Thomas.
Sure.
I'm going to put a link into a couple of videos for our program that you should take a look at for more information. Thank you.
All right, I'm Thomas Crotty. I'm one of the engineering instructors at the Seattle Maritime Academy. We teach people how to work on boats. So if you've ever looked out at the Sound and wondered, you know, how do I get out on one of those boats out there? We are one of the ways to get on those boats out there. So yeah, let's take a look. So we're a certificate program. We're a one-year program, 3 full-time quarters, starting in the fall. And then the end of our program is an internship with a company. So you'll be out in the industry as an intern, working on boats, applying your knowledge, getting sea time, so that the Coast Guard can sign off and give you the certificate that you're earning. We start in the fall. We have a class size of 18. We run with 2 cohorts. One of the cohorts is purely on the deck side, which is navigation, cargo handling, the actual operation and it's not quite driving, but driving of the ship, getting the ship from point A to point B. And then our second cohort is the engineering cohort, where you're learning really a little bit of everything. So diesel engines, steam plants, fuel, lubrication, mechanical systems, structural systems, electrical systems, hydraulics, refrigeration, a little bit of everything, because ships are by necessity self-sufficient. And so all of these systems will be on board, and as an engineer, you'll be required to help repair them as they break down. There's a number of prerequisites because we're a certificate program through the Coast Guard. You need to be able to get a TWIC, a Transportation Workers Identification Card. There's a background check. There's a Coast Guard physical you need to pass, a number of other things that are less important, but you know, still prerequisites. And then you'll be a part of our program. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. So like I said, you're learning to work on board commercial ships. So tugboats, the Washington State ferries, all the way up to the larger tankers, container ships, going up to Alaska, down to California, across the Pacific, over sailing deep sea, really any kind of vessel that you can think of, we train you guys to work on it. Our program is almost entirely hands-on. We're located in Ballard, right underneath the Ballard Bridge. So as you're going north into Ballard over the Ballard Bridge, you've probably seen some of our training vessels sitting there in the canal. Our winter and spring quarters, we have our practicum, which is entirely hands-on. Getting on the boat, going out, practicing line handling, practicing starting up systems, shutting down systems, working on the boat, and really applying those practical skills that we're trying to teach and impart to you as students. Our entire faculty, I'm the only full-time faculty member. I sailed for 7 years before I started teaching. The rest of our faculty are part-time because the other half of the time they are working on ships, on the Victoria Clipper, on the Washington State ferries. They are active in industry. We try to make sure that the information we're imparting you is as up to date as possible, making sure that you know, well, this is something that I use every day as a sailor, as a mariner, and so that's why we're teaching it to you. Making sure that it all feels tangible and relevant. So yeah, let's go to the next slide. Like I said, our program culminates in an internship. You'll spend 3 months out at sea on a boat, actually working in the industry. I would say 9 times out of 10, that internship ends up becoming a job offer pretty much the day you graduate. As soon as you get your certificate, as soon as you finish, pretty much every student I've talked to has said, yep, I came back, I got my certificate. I am planning on taking a week of vacation and then going back out on the boat and starting to work again. We have alumni across the industry. Like I said, Washington State Ferries, Polar Tankers, Western Towboat. We also work with NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. They have a number of research vessels that go out doing research, and we provide both deck work and engineering work on those boats. A lot of times we actually had the Military Sealift Command come to our school today to talk about doing an internship with them. And after you've gotten your certificate, you're making upwards of 70, 80 grand along with overtime, signing bonus, a number of other things. It is a very lucrative industry, and it needs people. As you go through a full career, you can become a vessel master where you are in charge of the entire vessel. You are at the top of the food chain, top of the chain of command, or a chief engineer where you are in charge of the entire engine room, repairs, operations, everything. You are in charge of all of it. Yeah, we can go to our next slide. We have one more slide. Oh, we don't have one more slide, but that's okay. If you're interested, we have an open house on Friday the 15th. Please come by. We'll walk you through our campus, show you some of our boats, answer all your questions, tell you whatever you want to know.
Thank you, Thomas. Jimmy.
All right. Watch Technology. So we are a program that specializes in watchmaking and watch repair. Our curriculum is designed to take somebody with zero prior experience in watches and get them trained up to a point where they're immediately employable within the industry. So our program is just one of less than half a dozen still running in the US. We're the only watchmaking school on the West Coast and one of the last that's still attached to a public educational institution. Right, so if we move on to the next slide. So we offer a couple of awards. We have an associate's degree, which is 184 credits. And we also offer a certificate that is 164 credits for students right out of high school. The associates is a pretty popular option. It's a full-time program, 8 quarters, so 2 years, and it's approximately 36 hours of class time per week. So it's a big time commitment. Our cohorts start every fall, and we are always running, there's always a first-year class and a second-year class running concurrently. Our class sizes are about 12 students each, and these are students from all across the country as well as internationally, so we draw a lot of interest. And as far as prerequisites go, we require at least a high school diploma or equivalent, and then there is an application process from our website. There will be a program-specific application form, a personal statement that must be submitted, as well as a couple rounds of testing to assess your dexterity and problem-solving skills. Okay. On the next slide. So our positioning is really to train watchmakers that specialize in repairing high-end timepieces. These are really skills that are a good match for students that like to do problem solving, work at a kind of micro level. Students are working with hands, are working with tools in both hands. They're looking at things under high magnification. So somebody who really likes to tinker around with complex equipment or machinery, this could be a good fit for you. Watchmakers are in high demand. We have, there are openings across the country, major metropolitan areas, New York, Dallas, Miami, LA, those are all openings that I know of right now. And then also in more suburban areas, we've got the Midwest, let's see, the Rockies, all over. So if you're interested in relocating, this is definitely an option for you. And so with our program specifically, there are internships through local companies. Benbridge Jeweler offers a couple openings each year for interns. And then as far as where our students get placed, they include retailers for watches, Benbridge Jeweler, Tourneau, Bruker. We also find our graduates going into employment directly with the watch brands themselves. So many of these Swiss-based companies have large operations, large service or repair operations based in the US. So we have quite a few grads working there. As far as career pathways go, students can graduate from being a standard watchmaker into a more senior role where they're managing a small team. They could be a shop manager where they're managing the entire team of watchmakers at an employer. And then as well, they could go into becoming a technical trainer where one could be traveling across the country to various sites to train other technicians, other watchmakers, or even sales staff.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. And last but absolutely not least, Stephanie, you're up.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Ostman. I'm the afternoon welding instructor on main campus welding and fabrication technology program. I teach there in an afternoon. We offer two sections. One section runs 7 a.m. to 10:50 a.m. and that is run by our morning instructor, Doug Rupick, who can't be here today. And then my classes run from 1:15 to 5:05 p.m. These are all Monday through Friday. We meet on campus. So our students that come to us, they've got a bunch of different class options. So some students just come to us, they want to learn one or two lab class skills. Some of our students are with us for a 1-year certificate. And some individuals are going for their full 2-year associate's degree in welding fabrication technology. What that looks like is the first quarter of students who sign up for 2 welding classes for 6 credits each, that will be full time. And you are in the welding shop with myself or Doug Rupick Monday through Friday for our specific class time. And you'll focus on your first class, maybe in this case, your first quarter student. So you'll be working on gas welding for the first 5.5 weeks, which is half of the quarter. And then after the halfway point, you switch and focus solely on the second class. First quarter will be stick welding for another 5.5 weeks. We accept students every quarter, new students every quarter. Students work in the lab at the same time. My lab can actually hold 65 students, though per instructor, we take on about 25 for safety reasons. So we accept students every quarter, and our shop is open to individuals. We work stack classes. So my first quarter students will be in the shop at the same time as my second quarter, third quarter, fifth quarter, so on. So everybody's in the shop at the same time. We think that builds a great community of individuals, and also each other. Our students can help each other and offer insights and tips, which is a great way to build camaraderie. All of our shop classes are in person. We do have 3 supplementary lecture classes. This quarter, I'm teaching blueprint reading, and I teach it hybrid, though in the summertime, Doug will teach it fully online for the students that need that. We alternate that with materials and testing methods, also a lecture, and then welding theory, which is about the principles of welding machines and what and how they work. And that's also offered in person 1 quarter, and then we stagger it, we offer it online to meet the individual needs. Let's see, can we jump to the next slide here? Cool. No, we don't need students to have a GED. We don't need students to have a high school diploma or any experience in a welding shop to be part of our program. We will accept students wherever they are. We are an I-bested program, which means we have embedded support from another instructor to help with math or English if that's a struggle point for you, or that you need additional help so that you can get that associate's degree. If you're kind of nervous about taking a math class or an English class, we've got support for you. So don't let that keep you from deciding to go for your associate's degree with us. Our students, they will learn every welding skill that's out there as a base. So we teach gas welding, we teach stick welding, wire feed processes, TIG welding, and then the third, fourth, and fifth quarter, we help hone those skills for your needs and help you drive to what industry standards are requiring. Our students also learn safety, right, in the lab, how to work respectfully. We teach them how to work heavy machinery, diagnose welding defects, machinery defects, and understand and interpret blueprints. And I'll wrap up by saying that currently there's 400,000 welder shortage across the nation. And our students go all over the place. Most of them have job offers before they graduate. I came from aerospace. I used to work on F-35 fighter jets and Apache helicopters. Our morning instructor is an iron worker, which is construction, builds high-rise buildings and bridges. I have job offers right now for students looking to go into pipe fitting and Boilermakers up in Alaska. You can also work in small fabrication shops. You can work in aerospace like Boeing. Right, they take welders with lots of small shops here in Seattle that are in need. And their starting wage on a low end would be like $23, $24 an hour. On a high end, I have students that are accepting jobs at $37 an hour fresh out of school. So if you're interested, feel free to come and check us out. And I actually have an Instagram page, if that's your speed. I'll throw the link up at the chat if you want to come and check us out. We also have a Facebook page, but I've been told that's for older folks. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen to us today.
Thank you, Stephanie. So that wraps up our program presentations. And wow, you guys are amazing. And it's so impressive how many different options that we have across our colleges. There's so many different directions you can go in, and the careers are really unique and interesting. We would love it for you to do our Discover feedback form that lets us know what you're interested in. We can direct you to the right place, and you can give us some feedback about the event tonight. We really would love for you to come see us in person next week. We have open house events at all of our campus next week. So check these out, starting with Monday. If you want to hear a little bit more about apprenticeships, that's going to be on Monday at the Georgetown, South Seattle campus. You can sign up with the link that's about to go in the chat. South Seattle College, a lot of the programs you heard from today are also at South, a few from Central, North Seattle College, and of course the Maritime program you heard from tonight. So please do check those out. Keep exploring. We've got more programs than just that. We have all these areas of study, and we would love for you to, come check us out. So this brings us to Q&A. We'll stick around for a little bit longer and address some of the questions that have come in the chat. And also, if you have a question that you want to ask, go ahead and come off mute and fire away. Anyone have any questions they'd like to ask our instructors tonight?
I do.
Yeah,
Although
please.
everybody probably saw my question in the chat. I'm just basically I just want to know about like the details of like what it would look like from like I don't know, graduating from the course and then going fresh into a job. Like what skills would I transfer? Would I get any certifications, or like what would I learn that in the course that would actually apply to the I don't know, work space?
Thank you. Is there a particular area, or does somebody want to jump in?
In carpentry.
I'm happy to help answer that. So you come out of the program with an enormous amount of technical skill and tool proficiency. You have a broad education in material and wood, there's abrasives, adhesives, how buildings go together. We focus on traditional framing and advanced framing. You'll understand really high-tech exterior systems. Carpentry has really undergone a sea change in the last 15 years or so. Buildings are now really highly engineered technical systems. So we look at buildings as a system. So in terms of the skills you come out with, most of our students step into carpentry or lead carpenter positions right out of the program. You know, the training you get with us in 5 full-time hands-on quarter is usually the equivalent of 7 or 8 years of experience out in the field. So it's a great way to jumpstart your career. We find a lot of students are kind of nervous when they go to work because they don't feel like they know too much. And after a couple of weeks, couple of days in the field, they start realizing that they know more than most of the people they're working with who kind of learned out in the field on the job. So our students come out ready to go to work. You get an AAS degree in carpentry. And a lot of our employers give us feedback saying that they really value the fact that students have gotten a degree. It means that they can finish something. It also shows employers that you're committed to being a builder, that you're willing to sacrifice 5 quarters of your life to go to school, to train. It really means a lot to employers, and just about every residential construction company in the area is either owned by an alumni or has former students working for them. So we have really deep connections in the community. And so we have companies reach out to us just about every week looking for highly skilled employees for their companies.
Oh, that's super cool. I have a quick follow-up question. Do you know if Seattle Promise covers the course?
It does. It does. And we
Yeah.
have 5 or 6 Seattle Promise students right now with us, and we're always excited to have more Promise students to cover it. So absolutely, the Promise Seattle Promise covers the program.
Okay, thank you.
Also, June, I wanted we in our pre-apprenticeship programs, both and Katie mentioned a little bit, like with there's carpentry rotation as part of learning different trades that give you opportunities to learn about where you could go into other apprenticeship programs. So we have a new, which is a offsite program that we partnered. One of the rotations, you learn about carpentry, but you learn some other building trades, and that's also covered by Seattle Promise.
That's super
That's a
cool. I
1
was looking
quarter.
into a new.
Yeah, that's a 1 quarter program.
Any other questions we can answer for you today? All right, while we wait for folks to generate another question, I would love to bring Taryn back to talk a little bit about the automotive program.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Taryn Kilgore. I teach automotive technology, specifically the advanced electrical and engine performance and drivability courses, which is the 4th and 5th quarters of our 6-quarter program. In our program, it's a fall and spring start. So we start a new cohort or a group of students at fall quarter, which is coming up this fall. We'll have a new group of students, or actually next quarter, we have a whole new group of students, spring quarter. And we start off with an intro where you learn about the basics of automotive technology, components and drivetrain types. You start to get basic skills in electrical testing. You start to learn what tools are if you've never used tools on a car before, or even done any kind of work on a car. Some of our students have never even driven a car before, and they come to learn to work on them, which I think is pretty cool. We have 4 instructors currently. Myself, we have Todd Jones, who has been with us for almost 10 years now. And we have 2 other new instructors, Erjan Mile and Stephen, just forgot Steven's last name, but they both started this year, and I've been with the college for about 2 years now, and it's a really great place to come and learn to work about cars. We have a beautiful brand new remodeled building, which includes brand new lifts and tools, along with great learning spaces, great classrooms that are bright, and we have great technology in there. And we also have a dyno room, which includes a dynamometer, and which is a tool that we can put a car through performance benchmarks and emissions testing, and even check its full power output. Which is super fun. We have some cars that make a lot of noise and a lot of horsepower as a part of the program, so it's pretty fun to put those on the dyno and see what they can do. As you move through the program, you learn about the intro course, and you move on to brakes and suspension. Then we have engines class, which is kind of rebuilding engines. We move on to my classes, which starts with advanced electrical. And the quarter after that is the engine performance and diagnostics. And then you end the course with transmissions quarter and drivelines. With that, you go into the field with an AAS degree, an Associate's Applied Sciences. There's also a transfer degree available with this degree type. And with that, you go into a field that is in very, very high demand. Just about every employer in this industry is seeking technicians to replace their longtime technicians that are retiring and moving into other forms of employment, or I should say just retiring. So there are lots of opportunities. A lot of technicians entering the field upon graduation will start at an entry position anywhere between $20 on a low end, $20 an hour, all the way up as high as 40 or higher in some union or state positions. So King County Metro is one of our largest employers that accepts graduates, and I heard that they are starting people at around $36 to $38 an hour. And with that, they then go on to get state benefits and have great retirement packages and healthcare. And like any of the other trades, you can take this job and go almost anywhere. You can go all over the world. I specialized in Porsche vehicles when I was a technician in the field, and I've had opportunities to go train all across the country working on these cars. And I know that there are job opportunities for that kind of brand, not just all over this country, but all over the world. And so the possibilities are endless with automotive. It's a pretty great career path. So, thank you.
Thanks so much for sharing. All right. We'll stick around for a little bit longer if you have any more questions, but otherwise, we are ending for the night, and we thank you so much for coming tonight, and we really hope to see you next week at some of our open house events. June, you raise your hand again?
Yeah, for the Georgetown campus open house, is there a specific like schedule that's like planned out, or is it like just a general like go on the campus and walk around and see stuff type of situation?
So we'll have a room with all tables with all of our apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship program contact information. We'll also have hands-on opportunities to do various trades, and there will be tours, and our meat cutters will be cooking up a feast. So if you anytime between 3:30 and 6:30, you'll be able to get a sense of our programs here.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you, presenters. You did such a great job tonight.
Thank you. Bye.